Welcome back, guys. Today we are out here at the Hillbilly GP. This is Lou's place. It was round one. And we are getting ready to start. Here we are on the line, and it's go time. My buddies wanted to line up on the outside this time, so we went on that far side, and it definitely did not pay off for any of us. As you can see, we go into the hole shot here, probably about 20th or so. Most of the riders in our class was in front of us right at this point. But we go around this corner here, and then it's off into the woods right up here. I end up following this guy in the high vis for a little while. Me and him kind of battled back and forth. He wrecks right here. I was able to get around him, almost stalled out, but was able to get around him, keep going, and clear some ground. Here in a little bit, he does catch up with me, and we kind of go back and forth the whole race. He ended up finishing one person ahead of me, so hopefully next race we'll get to have a little bit of a rematch, and maybe I'll be able to beat him next time. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm starting to get a lot faster on the bike. Been having a lot of fun. Trying to ride a lot more in the woods and just get used to carrying speed and reacting to the bike different ways. It's definitely been helping, just riding a lot more. As you can see, I'm starting to get a little bit quicker and able to pick a little bit better lines. This course I had a lot of fun on. It was a really fast course in general, and there was some good lines and alternate routes so you could get around people. We were racing C class this round here. There was only one class that went before us, so as you can see, there was still quite a few leaves on the trails. As the day went on, a lot of that stuff got cleared out, and it ended up being pretty clean. I know when the leaves were on there, it definitely made it pretty slick. During the practice lap, me and Tom were both kind of complaining about how slick it was and hard to see what was actually underneath the leaves in the trail and pick a good line and not get thrown off. It's probably hard to tell in the video, but this was pretty rocky as well. Through this part of the course, this side of the course anyway, it was pretty flowy and nice, but when you got to the other side, it seemed like the off-camerness and the rocks definitely added a little bit of a challenge. This corner right here seemed to throw me off every time. I was pretty slow through it. It was kind of a tight corner, a lot of trees and cedars. There was definitely a better line there that I found out about later on in the day. Again, this area through here is still kind of tight. For the course anyway, it was about as tight as it got. Overall, the whole course was pretty flowy. These grass tracks were really awesome. I ended up pretty slow through this first time through, but as the day went on, I got a lot more confident in the bike and could tell that I was not going anywhere, so I was able to fly through here pretty well. Right in here, we're going down into a creek. As you can see, a few people get past me, and I'm kind of waiting there to go in. And then we got Ian Hanners here. He's also got a YouTube channel. On that YZ there, he ended up getting around, and he went from dead last on the start all the way to 6th place, so he had a really good finish overall. He was hauling butt. He's got some videos of him coming through there, and it was pretty good. It was pretty cool to watch. Right here, we're back on the grass track, and I'm kind of making up a little bit of lost ground there. We're going up, another guy gets around me, and then it's off into the woods here again. This was another corner that I was a little bit slow on. This line here ended up getting pretty washed out, and it was a little bit tricky. Here I'm following along with this guy, trying to get a pass on him. Didn't quite get it fast enough, and he stayed in front of me. Out here in the field, he did end up slowing down a little bit and letting me get around him. As we continue on here through this grass track, go around this big old corner, and there's a little bit of whoops right through here. And then we go down here into this little creek and cross it, and back into some single tracking up a hill. This hill was pretty bumpy as well. I ended up going to the outside line the rest of the day, and it seemed to work out for me. Start going up this hill right here. I don't know what happens, but as you can see, kind of mixed up my lines there and took a little tumble. Earlier in this year, I tore a rotator cuff, and whenever I fell right there, I felt something move around in my shoulder, and it definitely hurt. You can kind of hear me say some bad words there. Alright, so this tree right here ended up being my nemesis later in the day. On my last lap, I hit that thing and ended up bending my radiator up. Thought I had a leak, but it ended up not being a leak, which I'm happy for. I was able to straighten my radiator out and keep using it. Back down into these creeks, crossing them, get blasted with some roost right there. Around another one of these grass tracks. This is back into the creek here, getting around that gentleman that went down in front of me earlier. He had at some point passed me there. Come out of this creek right here, back into this little field, and then when we go down into this next creek here, this is what's known as XR Creek, and holy cow, that was a totally different experience for me. It was kind of like a mini rock garden is what it reminded me of. But it was a lot of fun. It ended up being one of my favorite parts of the track. There's a ton of people watching too, so if you go down like that guy and then like me right here, you've got like probably like 200 people watching you at least, and so it kind of is embarrassing, but part of racing. End up going back up here and take off, and I actually had a pretty good little run right through there. This part coming up as well, you're going to see here in a minute. I'm going to zoom in again and kind of freeze the frame. On my practice lap, this little rock tower up here was not here, and it totally threw me off. That thing right there almost made me wreck hard. You come out of this little creek right here, and then you're kind of on the home stretch. You go back out in these fields. You have two little dips right there, and then you're back into the scoring. So that was the first lap. That's kind of the highlights. I've got the full uncut version as well if you want to watch that. Thanks for watching, guys. Give me a like and a subscribe if you want to see more. Hope you have a great day.